This is a very important question with regard to the homeless shelter, something that is very timely even as of last summer and even more important coming into this summer. Last July, the Upper West Side was kind of ambushed when the city decided to take 316 and 330 West 95th Street and to convert them into homeless housing without giving the community any warning, without consulting, without notifying, and hiding behind what they call an emergency provision, which they continue to use and abuse so that they can continue to add shelters and housing without providing the appropriate resources that are, number one, needed for these people who are most in need in our community. The administration has turned a blind eye when it comes to dealing with homelessness. There has not been a comprehensive strategy. There has not been any effort to really address the situation at its core. We need mental health professionals. We need counseling. We need support. We need to make sure that people have access to housing and shelter. And at the same time, we need transparency in the situation. We cannot rely on the administration just passing emergency provisions and in the middle of the summer coming forward and putting this housing in. Now, I submitted a FOIL request to the Department of Homeless Services in the fall to find out and get the original contract and proposal. And it was very clear in there that the Commissioner of Homeless Services had notified the controller that they just needed 6 months of housing because they were building more housing. And then in January of this year, the commissioner came to the West 90s and said that this housing was going to be permanent. What we face right now is a situation where their contract expired on those shelters on 95th Street on February 6th. And they are operating without a contract, yet still getting $3,900 a month per unit for SRO apartments up there on the West 90s. I promise you, in the middle of this summer, they're going to come back in and say that it is now permanent and it has been approved. So we need to stay active, we need to stay engaged. We need to keep an eye on situations like this to make sure that the community doesn't just get ambushed again in the middle of the summer where they think no one's paying attention. So I think we need new leadership and energy dealing with on this issue and a multitude of other ones. Thank you.